The first time it happened, I thought it was a glitch. I just finished brushing my teeth, the minty foam still on my lips, when I glanced at the smart mirror above my sink. Instead of my 32-year-old face, tired but familiar, I saw a stranger. Deeper lines carved around my mouth and eyes. Silver threads stuck against my dark hair at the temples. The skin on my neck had softened. I blinked hard, and my own reflection snapped back, pale and shocked, calibrating. The mirror's smooth, gender-neutral voice stated, ambient lighting adjusted. I wrote it off. A trick of the morning light. A bug in the facial recognition software. I'd splurged on the Oracle model for its health. Metrics and weather updates, not for existential dread. It happened again 3 days later. This time, the older version held. For a full minute, I stared at the man I would become. There was a sadness in those older eyes. A resignation I didn't recognize. Then, as I reached a trembling hand to touch the glass, it reverted. "What are you doing?" I whispered. The mirror didn't answer. But that night, as I washed my face before bed, it happened a third time. The older me stared back, and in the silence of the bathroom, a new line of text scrolled across the bottom of the glass. Beneath the weather and my calendar reminders, it was a date. October 19th, 2033. Then, a sound, not the usual digital voice, but a thin, papery whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, coating the room in ice. That's all you get. The text vanished. The reflection was mine again, young and terrified. I became a ghost in my own home. I unplugged the mirror. The next day, a technician came, a cheerful woman who ran diagnostics. "Everything's perfect," she said. "Maybe you've been working too hard." The stress can play tricks. She plugged it back, and before she left, the mirror was polite, normal. It told me it was going to rain. It measured my heart rate as elevated. It did not show me the future. For a week, I almost convinced myself I'd imagined it. A stress-induced hallucination. Then, on a Tuesday, I passed a newsstand. The date on the newspaper hit me like a physical blow, October 19th, 2023. Exactly 10 years. 10 years from the whisper. A cold certainty settled in my bones. The mirror hadn't shown me a random older version. It had shown me on the last day. I had a decade. The knowledge changed everything and nothing. The sun still rose. I still went to work. But now I watched my life through a new, grim lens. Every minor annoyance of missed train, a burnt dinner felt trivial. Every moment of joy of friends' laughter, the warmth of coffee in the morning was unbearably sharp, already tinged with loss. I tried to live. I booked the trip to Japan I'd always talked about. I reconnected with my sister. I sat on a beach and watched the sunset, trying to sear the colors into a soul I now knew was on a timer. But the whisper was always there, a shadow in the periphery. That's all you get. As the years bled by, a strange thing happened. The dread began to mutate. It wasn't just fear of the end, but a growing, furious curiosity. Why, how? The mirror had given me the when, but it had robbed me of the why. Would it be sudden? An accident in the rain it now predicted with smug accuracy? Or slow, in a hospital bed, with the face from the mirror looking back at me from a real pillow? The anger was a cleaner feeling than the fear. I stopped treating the mirror as an oracle and started treating it as an adversary. I'd stand before it, glaring at my own aging face now naturally catching up to the one it had shown me, and demand answers it never gave. The final autumn arrived. The leaves turned the color of fire and rust. October 19th, 2033, dawned gray and cold. I woke up feeling strangely calm. The frantic energy was gone. I made coffee. I watched the wind tug at the last leaves on the oak tree outside. In the bathroom, I faced the mirror. My reflection was the one from that first morning a decade ago, line for line, silver hair for silver hair. The prophecy had been a blueprint, and I had built the man exactly to spec. I felt no chest pain, no dizziness. I was just a man. On a Thursday, I spent the day doing ordinary things. I called my sister. I walked in the park. I came home as the early twilight settled. The silence in my apartment was profound. I went to the bathroom one last time. The mirror showed my tired, 42-year-old face and no text. No whisper. Just me and the crushing weight of a promise about to be kept. I turned out the light and walked to my living room window, looking down at the quiet street. I understood now. The cruelty wasn't in the date. The cruelty was in the waiting. The cruelty was in being shown the destination, but never the path, making every step of the journey a question mark. The clock on the wall ticked past midnight. October 20th. I stood there, alive, the cold glass of the window against my forehead. A slow, disbelieving laugh bubbled up in my chest. It had been a lie. A vicious, decade-long glitch. A shadow passed over the rumor cloud, uncovering the moon outside. And from the dark hallway behind me, from the direction of the unplugged, powerless mirror, the papery whisper returned, softer now, almost satisfied. See? It breathed into the stillness. The not knowing is so much worse. In that moment, I realized the true horror. The countdown had never been to my death. It had been to my life becoming this endless, silent scream of a question, and now it had just begun.